pilot for?
43 years.
Wow. What shape is the planet?
Flat.
You're the pilot?
Hi.
How long have you been flying for?
Like, pretty up at 21 years to maybe like 30 something.
I want to know, because they say the pilots know a lot. Do you think the Earth is flat or no?
I know it's flat.
You know it's flat?
The world is flat.
Confirmed.
Completely flat.
People are free to speak in America. That part isn't particularly interesting. The interesting question is, what happens after you speak? Because censorship has a crude older brother and a sophisticated younger one. The older brother says, you cannot say that. The younger brother says, you can say whatever you like. Just understand that serious people will never take you seriously again. We're going directly into one of those reputational kill zones, the shape of the Earth. And before somebody clips that sentence, uploads it to social media, and announces that Chase Parrish has lost his mind, understand the assignment. I am not asking you to believe the Earth is flat. I'm asking something considerably more uncomfortable. How much of what you believe about the physical world could you independently demonstrate if all institutional authority, the experts, were removed from the equation? You see, that's a different question. And tonight, we're opening the file. I recently watched a good buddy of mine effectively terminate our relationship over this subject. After I spoke, he posted Proverbs 26:4. Answer not a fool according to his folly. In the midst of a group chat, I asked him directly, going to his text alone, whether he meant me. He said yes. Then came the termination signal. He had better things to do with his time, and he went dark. Now notice what didn't happen. No experiment, no geometry, no refutation, no competing measurements. The classification preceded the investigation. Fool. Case closed. And that interests me enormously. Because whether I am ultimately right, partially right, or spectacularly wrong about a question should be determined after examining the evidence. If I'm wrong, demonstrate it. I'll put the correction on camera. But don't substitute sociology for geometry. Don't tell me what intelligent people believe. Show me why they believe it. That distinction is the entire operation. So let's make this a little more complicated and intricate. For this exercise, remove NASA. Not because NASA has been proven fraudulent, although I think it has, because I want to eliminate the easiest battlefield entirely. No astronauts, no moon landing, no photograph from space, no CGI argument, no secret soundstage. Forget all of it. We're standing on Earth with instruments. Now, answer the question. If we know the proposed dimensions of Earth, shouldn't we be capable of generating predictions from the model? So generate them. Then measure. Long-distance observations over water have become particularly controversial because experimentals have reported seeing objects or lights expected to be obscured under simplified curvature calculations. Critics answer that these experiments frequently mishandle observer height, target height, optical resolution, atmospheric refraction, and the difference between geometric and apparent horizons. Excellent. Now we finally have an argument. This is exactly where Chase Parrish Space wants to be. Not flat earthers are idiots, not NASA lies, but what does each model predict under specified atmospheric conditions, and what happens when we test it? Document the temperature, document observer elevation, document target elevation, distance, equipment, refraction, publish everything. Let opponents reproduce it. If the globe wins, the globe wins. I hang up my hat, we all go on our way. If an anomaly survives, investigate the anomaly. That shouldn't be controversial. That's how an open civilization determines what is real. Now, we move to a completely separate evidentiary file. Scripture. Isaiah 40:22 describes God sitting above the hug of the earth. The Hebrew deserves examination here. So does Proverbs 8:27, so does Job, so does the broader cosmological imagery of Scripture. But here's a rule. We don't get to cheat in either direction. A flat earth advocate cannot simply say, circle means flat disk, case closed. And a globe advocate cannot simply say, poetry. Nothing to see here, just poetry. Neither is exegesis. Open the lexical file. Examine hug. Examine the semantic range. Examine the ancient context. Examine Isaiah's other vocabulary. Examine how biblical writers describe heavens, earth, waters, foundations, and boundaries. Then ask, what cosmological picture does a cumulative language actually produce? Maybe The modern reader had understood it correctly. Maybe we've imported assumptions. That's precisely why you investigate. And now you understand why this episode isn't really about flat Earth. It's about something much vaster, wider, and larger. Epistemic outsourcing. How many things do you know because you personally established them or because you trust the experts? And how many things do you know because an institution certified them, another institution taught them, another institution repeated them, and eventually everybody around you agreed in collectivity that questioning them indicated stupidity? That doesn't make the institutions wrong. Consensus is not evidence of conspiracy. A consensus isn't a substitute for understanding either. There's an enormous intellectual territory between the authority said it, therefore it's true, and the authority said it, therefore it's false. I reject both. My position is considerably more dangerous. Open the file. Show me the measurements. Show me the methodology. Show me the competing explanations. Show me where the experiment fails. Show me where the interpretation fails. And if I'm wrong, show me so clearly that I can explain my own error afterward, on camera. That's intellectual sovereignty. Now, we reach the part that interests me the most. Why do certain questions produce disproportionate reputational consequences? That phenomenon itself deserves study. It does not prove the forbidden position is true. That's important. Social punishment is not scientific evidence, but it is evidence about the social environment surrounding an idea. And that's a different intelligence file who establishes the boundaries of respectable inquiry. How do those boundaries propagate? What role does credentialing play? Media, education, professional incentives, social networks, religious communities, and most importantly, at what point does confidence in a proposition become confidence in the institutions clarifying the proposition? Those aren't flat earth questions. Those are civilization questions. Maybe the Earth is exactly what you were taught it is. Then measurement has nothing to fear. Maybe some popular flat Earth experiments collapse once atmospheric refraction and proper geometry are introduced. Then expose the errors. Maybe some observations remain genuinely interesting and investigate them. But there is one answer I will not accept. Only a fool asks questions. No. A fool can ask a question. A genius can ask the same question. The identity of the questioner doesn't determine the answer. Reality does. God created reality. Therefore, Christians of all people should have absolutely nothing to fear from examining it. If Scripture and creation have the same author, properly understood truth cannot ultimately place them at war. Measure, calculate, read, replicate, challenge me, challenge yourself. And when somebody tells you a question is so ridiculous that it doesn't deserve investigation, don't automatically conclude they're hiding something. Do something much more disciplined. Ask them to show their work. Because Parrish Space isn't interested in protecting the globe, and it isn't interested in protecting flat Earth. We're interested in something institutions, movements, and egos all find considerably more dangerous. An open file. My name is Parrish, and this is Parrish Space.